Good morning, everyone. This is Florida Plant Mama coming to you from Zone 10A, Central Florida. I'm so happy to have you and welcome for all of you new subscribers, old subscribers, people viewing for the first time. I'm so happy that you've taken the time to join me today. Today is a milestone for me. This video marks my 50th YouTube video, and I am so excited. Yay! I started YouTubing about a year ago, and I thought, what better way to mark this 50th milestone than to tell you a little bit about myself while I do a little compilation. I wanted to let you know what I am starting from seed in June. Now, I know I told you I don't do much in June. Gardening for me pretty much slows down June, July, and the beginning of August because it's just so hot out here and humid, and there are bugs, and it's not the most pleasant atmosphere to garden in here in Florida during the summers, and it is officially summer. However, I cannot stop completely because it's my hobby, it's what I enjoy. So I've decided to start some seeds indoor that I can plant out later on in the season. So welcome. I hope you enjoy, and that you like, and that you comment, and that you continue to help me grow this channel. Thank you so much for watching. Let's go ahead and get started here. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself as I show you the seeds that I'm starting indoor for the month of June. Now, for some of these, it is a late start, and I have no idea how they're actually going to do, but it's definitely worth trying them. I'm going to go ahead and start them indoors, and as they develop indoor, I will take them outdoors and acclimate them to the warmer weather. I just want to keep things growing in the garden, and I feel like I'm going to miss a window of opportunity, and my cucumber season has been horrible this year. Horrible. So has my squash season so far, and I'm not doing very well with the Seminole pumpkins either. So I'm going to give it another try with these. Okay, so about myself. My name is Peggy, and I am an emergency department PA, a wife, and a mother. I've lived in Florida for several years, but I'm originally from the New York, New Jersey region. I love living down here in Florida, and I decided to start this garden as a way to get out there in nature, as a way to unplug from the chaos that my career brings on a daily basis. In the garden, I get to be one with nature, get to listen to the sounds and smell the smells, and get some exercise too. I started this garden about 4 years ago, and it's been a work in progress ever since. Originally, I planned to plant many fruit trees in my backyard primarily. I didn't even consider growing vegetables because I thought it would be too difficult. But as I put in the fruit trees, I learned the concept of permaculture, and I was fascinated by the idea of having a backyard food forest that included fruit trees and vegetables and flowers, all of the things to make the backyard seem more like a forest than just a simple garden. Since my space is limited, I decided to practice high-density planting, where I pack the plants in pretty tight, leaving very little uncovered dirt space. I prune my fruit trees regularly to keep them at a manageable height. That's how I'm able to pack them so tightly in my small footprint. Additionally, I grow in grow bags, I grow in raised metal beds, I grow in raised wooden beds, I grow up on trellises. Anything that I can do to save space and to make gardening optimal and easy and fun is what I do. While planning and planting plants in my garden, I watch countless of hours of YouTube videos, looking for ways to improve my strategies and trying to pretty much learn since I was a novice and knew nothing about everything. The only problem I had is I found a lot of difficulty, many challenges in finding content that was specific to my area of Central Florida. So I decided it was important to start chronicling or journaling exactly what was happening in my garden so that I could learn from my mistakes. It's very easy to forget all the changes that occur during a season, let alone 2, 3, or 4 seasons. So it was my way to kind of look back and see what had happened over the course of time. For fun, I sent those videos to family just to see what they would think. They love the videos. They're the ones who encouraged me to share them with the world. And so Florida Plant Mama was born. In addition to growing fruits, vegetables, and flowers in my garden, I'm passionate about growing medicinal plants. I've even started a series where I highlight one medicinal plant monthly. I tell you all about it, its medicinal uses, and its contraindications to use. I do this in a brief, concise manner, hoping to reach as many people in as little time as possible. Using medicinal plants is in line with my current medical background. It just offers me the opportunity to approach medicine in a holistic way, not just treating things when they happen, but actually using natural resources to stay healthy and prevent illness. In growing these fruit trees, these vegetables, these flowers, these medicinals, I tried to observe organic processes, staying away from synthetic fertilizers and harmful chemicals in my garden. It's important that I know where my food is coming from. It's important that it's healthy and that it will help my body as opposed to causing harm. That's the great thing about gardening. It's a hobby that I do because I genuinely enjoy it. It is for me. The garden is a canvas, and I get to change that canvas however I see fit. If something doesn't work, actually it's not really a failure. It's just a chance to try something again. Either the same thing or maybe something new. So that's me in a nutshell, and hopefully I didn't bore you too much. Let's get back to what's going on in this video. As you can see, I've sown the seeds. I put them in coconut coir this time because I didn't want to use the indoor potting soil. I wanted to avoid having to boil water and pour over that indoor potting soil to avoid the gnats that tend to come along with it. I water the bags. I seal the bags, leaving a little bit of air up top to allow for condensation. The condensation is what keeps the inside of the bags moist, works like a little greenhouse. I love to do this process, especially for peppers. Then I put everything inside my little grow station, indoor house. I don't know what you call the thing. But you can see here, I've got some yarrow that I planted on the 16th of May that sprouted nicely. And I've got some peppers that probably would have fared better if I had transferred them or up potted them by now. But once they sprout, you're supposed to open the bags so that you can vent the plants and then continue watering. We zip it all up to keep that light inside for 360-degree exposure for all of the grow bags. And here, maybe about a week later, I've got the plants that I started on the 16th and the one that I started on the 4th. You can see that they have done a great job of germinating. Again, my peppers are looking a little yellow because they should have been up potted a lot sooner than now. Sweets is pretty interested in what's going on here. She just wants to see if there's anything she can eat. But look, everything came up. And now I'm going to do the thing that I hate the most, which is sifting my dirt. I make a potting soil to up-pot my plants. I find that it just works a little bit better. I just have a mixture of compost and topsoil, and then I add perlite. But before I combine those two, I sift them to get rid of large debris. That large debris just gets in the way of your plant's roots, and I don't want anything impeding the growth of these new seedlings. So here we are, sifting, just lots of fun. And then we add this perlite, just a couple of handfuls, 3 or 4. And we've got to mix that all in together. Get that perlite nicely distributed through, and those two, the compost and the topsoil, mixed in nicely. Then we go ahead and we remove the plants from the baggies. It's pretty simple. You just reach in and you scoop out the whole clump. And then you just shake it off lightly. People think that these seedlings are really, really fragile, but they're not really that fragile. You can kind of just tease the roots out of that coconut coir, which I find is easier to do than to separate the plants from, or the roots when you have the topsoil use instead. So then I go ahead and up pot. I think I'm working on the peppers right now. Yeah, those are the peppers. Up pot those little pitiful peppers. Hopefully they will survive this transition. I may have to do this again. And then we go ahead and put in the labels. I have to remember to put in the labels, otherwise I mix things up. It's a horrible thing. I like to use pencil for my labels. That's what I've been doing recently because I find that I can reuse those labels easily because I can just erase the writing as opposed to trying to scratch it out or to wash it off or waiting for it to fade in the sun. So here we have it, our first batch of up-potted seedlings. Not too shabby, right? I'm using these 2-inch pots, and for the tiny seedlings, I've planted multiple seedlings in one pot. They'll do perfectly fine, and if need be, as they grow, I'll up-pot. Here's another batch that I am getting in, and I will continue that same process of up-potting and labeling. Now, a week later, for the bags of things like the cucumbers, the Seminole pumpkins, the bigger things, I just waited for their second set of leaves or their true leaves to pop up as I hardened them off, got them acclimated to the outdoor conditions, and now I'm going to plant them in grow bags. Here we have an Armenian cucumber. I planted 2 or 3 of them, and 2 or 3 actually germinated. However, one of them dampened off. That can happen. So I only got one left. I'm going to plant this in this grow bag, and hopefully it will do well. It should be able to tolerate the heat of the summer. Armenian cucumbers are pretty heat tolerant. They're the ones that will get you through the entire summer with cucumbers. I've done it before. Last year didn't do too great at it, but the year before that was a great season for the Armenian cucumbers. So I got this one in. I'll probably go ahead and germinate another 1 or 2. 2 or 3 plants is plenty for a household of 4. And they taste pretty similar to a regular cucumber in my opinion. They grow really long too, which one of them can feed all 4 of you in one sitting. I've got some cucumbers there that I planted maybe about, I don't know, maybe a month or 2 ago. You can see they're just not doing very well. And then I've got some others on the trellis that are faring a little bit better. I've gone ahead and started planting these new ones inside the bags because I am trying to keep the roots from being nibbled by something that is tunneling underneath the dirt. As always, let's get rid of some weeds here. I think over in this section, I am going to try planting a couple of the Seminole pumpkin seedlings, though, because I'd like for them to sprout and act as ground cover for this area. So here I am planting these Seminole pumpkins. These seedlings are beautiful. And I chose this little corner here because it doesn't seem to have been affected too much by whatever's tunneling underneath the dirt. The soil here doesn't collapse the way it does under where I have those grow bags there. But I'm going to put these Seminole pumpkins in here, and again, I want them to act as a ground cover for this area. Hopefully they will surround the grow bags. And yes, as usual, I'm doing a pretty dense planting here. I've got 3 of these Seminole pumpkins, and 3 Seminole pumpkins are going in this space. Seminole pumpkins are another plant that do very well in the Florida heat, and I don't plan to get any pumpkins right this minute, but right around the time of October is when I hope to be harvesting some of these Seminole pumpkins. They taste delicious and they look very pretty here. Now we switch gears from seedlings to tree maintenance. It is the summer solstice and it's time to control these avocado trees you see here. There are 2 avocado trees which I'm going to lop the top off. Here we go. Now I'm cutting up high where there are no fruit growing. Down below is where most of the fruit are, and I want to keep it that way. So I took probably about 2 or 3 feet off the top of this plant. But there were no avocados up there, so it's okay. We like summer solstice as our marker for when the trees should be trimmed. Here's some of the debris. And this is what the avocado trees look like now, much more manageable. And I'm going to take you up closer so you can see the avocados actually on the tree. Isn't that beautiful? And now we switch gears once again and we get to the bananas. It is time to harvest these bananas. I actually love the idea of harvesting the bananas. I hate actually doing it because it is a lot of work. And these banana, what do they call them? Arms, hands, racks. They are heavy. Let me tell you, when you cut that little stem and that banana drops, it can break your back. and I'm doing it without the help of my husband, so it's a little bit laborious, so I don't like harvesting bananas as much as other things. You can see I'm struggling here to hold this rack, and it's not even a big one. Now, this is why I knew it was time to harvest, because my bananas started to split. They weren't turning yellow, not really yellow on the tree yet, but I decided to go ahead and take them because that splitting is a sign that they are ready. And before the insects and the squirrels and other rodents decide to take them, I am going to get some bananas. Here I am cutting down the tree. Here's the next rack I'm working on. So you cut these banana racks off of the tree, and then you have to cut the tree down because it will no longer produce any additional bananas. Now this, mama, was really heavy. Oh my God, it was really heavy. You can see me struggling. Look how big that is. So I'm just gonna hang these and allow them to ripen over time. I don't need all these bananas at one time, so if they ripen slowly, that's fine by me. Here's the bucket. I kind of separated the hands from the rack, and I've got them in my garage on top of my deep freezer. And here's the one that I left intact, and it's just hanging here. I'll just leave it there. Let's go ahead and close out this video by showing you my pitiful onion harvest. These onions are tiny, but I'm glad I got them. I'm gonna go ahead and dehydrate them and grind them and make onion powder, but they're small. I'll try again next season. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you liked. I hope you subscribed, and I'll catch you for the next one. Have a wonderful day.